so nice to meet you, so nice to meet you are someone I'm absolutely sure about. You are someone I thank my lucky stars I don't have to live without. Thank you, time, thank you, space. I know I'm in the right place, and it feels too good to be true. It's so nice to meet you. So nice to meet. So nice to meet you.
Meet cute? Meet cute is when two characters in a romantic comedy meet for the first time. And there's a couple of different ways that can happen. My personal favorite is enemies to lovers. I love the Bridget Jones Diary meet cute, and I also really like, they're all enemies to lovers. I really like You've Got Mail too, where he's in her store and she doesn't know who he is.
I think mine is the one from Palm Springs, because just like our relationship, they were trapped in a constant seeing each other every day, and it felt like the same day happening over and over and over again.
But much more positive.
But much more positive, and I love it. Yeah.
My name is Emily.
And my name is Ethan.
I'm an English and drama teacher for junior high school here in Calgary. I teach grades 7, 8, and 9 drama, and then 7 and 8 English. It's loud and busy, but I really like junior high kids. I think they're funny most of the time, so I really enjoy it.
I'm an actor slash janitor in my spare time.
We're engaged.
Deeply and emotionally. Yeah.
I love romantic
We
comedies.
love them, yeah.
We have Love Actually Day in November. It is one of my favorite movies, but we have relegated it because of our second date to November 12th. It is Love Actually Day. It is on my calendar every year, but other romantic comedies are attached to different days of the year. We always watch When Harry Met Sally on New Year's Eve, not New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
You've Got Mail always, like usually it's like the first day of spring. Palm Springs usually pops up in the summer.
I really like Palm Springs. That's probably my favorite. I love that one.
It's a good one. We met at university, so we met in the drama department of the University of Calgary. There's a club called the Drama Undergrad Society.
Yeah, I was a first year rep for the drama club. I was like the preppy new first year. I was like, I want to be involved in everything. So we met in the club room that they had, and
bickered about movies.
Bickered about movies constantly.
I asked Ethan out because he took too long. Been actively working on like being like, hi! And he was not asking me out. And so my best friend, who takes full credit for our relationship, was like, Emily, please, for the love of all that is good and precious, like just ask him out yourself. I cannot take this anymore. And so he and I, hilariously, had just gotten home from a movie. And so I like walked into my house, took a shot of whiskey, sent the text, and then waited an agonizing 10 minutes to see if he would agree to go to a movie with me the following weekend.
I just happened to put my phone down. It wasn't that I was like contemplating, I just didn't see it. Oh, I was just definitely too nervous. I was like, what if she says no and then it gets weird? I don't know. So
it was a lot of togetherness for it to go south.
Yeah. We saw each other way too much at school for it to be like, I can confidently like ask her out and get rejected. So she had already seen, I think it was Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
She was just like, Ethan likes nerdy stuff. I wonder if he'd want to go see that. So we went to Chinook Theatre. I was really nervous for the first date, so I showed up like an hour early. And I was like wandering around the mall. We happened to bump into each other an hour early. So she had also shown up super early. So then we just wandered around, chatted. She agreed to go on a second date with me, so I think it was successful, but
I would agree. We live in a cozy little basement apartment here in Kensington.
we love it.
Yeah, we love living in Kensington.
Yeah. I like how central it is. I like how cute the community is.
We like being able to walk to everything.
Yeah.
That's been really nice.
Yeah. It's close to the C train station, so it's perfect. So I was born in Calgary, moved out to BC as like a little, I don't know, toddler, and then came back. So I've basically lived here my whole life, give or take a couple years, but
I am from Calgary. I was born here. I never moved. I lived in one house my entire life until we moved out here. I feel like I was introduced to Kensington. My mom had talked about it in passing as like a cool neighborhood when she was young, and then I think like most kids, I found it in like my teenage years. And so then it was like loitering in the tea shop and playing board games and going when the store used to be a toy store. We used to go to the vintage toy store and wander through and like thrift everything and go to the record store. And so that was sort of my first exposure to it. And my friend Seamus dragged me to movies at the Plaza, usually weird ones I didn't want to see.
yeah. A lot of my older family members went to SAIT, which is just like up the road. So we came here, they took me to the comic shop and constant movies, always coming to the Plaza.
We've been engaged.
A little over a year. I proposed the movie Love Actually. There's a part in that movie where Andrew Lincoln's character brings out these like cue cards because he's secretly trying to tell her how much he loves her, and he like drops the cards while playing like a Christmas Carol. So I was like, honestly, the second we watched that movie, I was like, that's how I'm gonna propose like years from now. So we went to this restaurant called Dark Table. I'm not sure if it's still open, but it's like completely pitch black. They have like blind servers. They lead you to your table. Another Richard Curtis movie that we really like. That's how the characters meet. So I was like, okay, I'll do that first. And then after dinner, I hadn't proposed. So she was like, oh, it must not be happening.
He spent the entire 2 weeks leading up to this day being like, we're going on this nice date. I am not proposing.
And we came home. I was like, oh, we didn't get dessert at the restaurant. Let me order dessert. I was like, oh, I think they've shown up. And I like went out in the hall and I grabbed the cue cards I made. Had all these cards like with the reasons I love her and all that. And she started sobbing. Immediately texting her friends.
It's important that in between, in that like minute that you went to go get the cards, because we were watching Love Actually. He had let me watch Love Actually in August, which never happens. And I had texted my friends being like, I cannot believe this is not my proposal. Like 2 minutes before he came back in. And then
And then it happened.
I clued in as soon as I saw the signs. As soon as I opened my eyes and saw the signs, I was like, oh, it is happening. We are getting married at the Plaza Theatre right here in Kensington.
First of all, we just really like movies. It's been a huge part of our relationship. We've always loved going even to the Plaza, especially because it's a cute little independent theater. And then because we really like the look of it. They have a bunch of cool like movie posters like plastered all over like the walls, the ceiling, everything.
We're not fancy or fussy people, and so the thought of like having like a big like a ballroom or a hotel felt very weird to us. It didn't feel like who we were as people. It didn't feel like the way we wanted to spend an evening. And so when we were looking at venues, my big thing was I was like, I want to find a place that feels like a place we would be on a Friday night anyway. And so we'd been going round and round, and we were looking at breweries and we were looking at a bunch of different things, and the Plaza had come up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the forerunner until I think I took you for drinks in the sidebar.
Yeah.
And you were like, this is it. I don't know why we're looking anywhere else. My brother has started to cut together a sizzle reel of like famous movie kisses. That's gonna play right before I walk down the aisle. And then we'll obviously have our ceremony like in the theater in front of the big screen. And then our speeches are all going to be run like the Oscars. So we're renting like one of those like old mics, and my brother's going to MC like it's the Oscar show, and we have music to play out if speeches go too long. And then I think the goal is to project movies sort of behind us.
Yeah.
Silently
Just
for most of the
Cool
evening.
movies that we like that are kind of like important to us. So
Yeah.
we get to put the marquee up. That's the most
very
exciting part. Yeah.
We've decided on one wedding and definitely not a funeral. Starring Emily and Ethan, which is very us. It's very tongue-in-cheek and funny, but yeah. So we decided not to do dinner.
Yeah.
We recommended all our favorite restaurants in Kensington. We were like, go here, go here, go here. And then we're doing movie theater popcorn and probably ordering pizza later.
Yeah, we'll get pizza.
But yeah.
Just have some snacks and stuff. Just
yeah.
a regular Friday night out at the movies, basically. So
yeah, like a night at the Plaza, cocktails and movie theater popcorn.
Yeah. We suggested Free House, which is a cool little beer hall that's really close to the Plaza. It's almost right beside it. Hayden Block, which is a really nice like barbecue place. Two Taco, really nice tacos.
We love Two Taco.
Yeah, a little too much. We like it a little too much.
We had to rein it in.
I really like the energy and the environment of Side Street. It's a really warm, like inviting pub experience versus like a lot of kind of like sketchy ones you can like walk into and everyone's kind of angry in there. And Side Street is all the servers, the owner, everyone is like willing to chat with anyone. They recognize people after the first time they've been in there. We like going because, if you don't feel like cooking or it's just been a hard day at work or, you just want to go.
Before we lived here, Higher Ground was like the place. Every artistic meeting I have ever had when I was still doing art things was in Higher Ground with somebody. It's like the place people go. So I have lots of like sitting and like writing scripts in Higher Ground or like taking meetings or planning shows that never happened or grant writing. Like I did a lot of that in Higher Ground. I always thought I was going to get married. It was always going to be like I was going to have a wedding. And I was always pretty sure I was going to be one and done, which is weird. Like I was pretty sure I was going to meet like one person if I managed to date them like for any length of time longer than like 6 months. That was going to be it. And that was true.
It is true.
I was 100% right. I knew if I could ever find someone who could tolerate my existence for longer than 6 months, we were going to be fine.
My parents have always like been pretty strong together, so I always had like a pretty good role model for marriage growing up. So I was always like, yeah, at one point I'll get married, but I was never looking for it. I was always like, if it happens, it happens. If not, I'll just be a bachelor forever, whatever. I'll hang out with my friends, I'll sit in a dark room and stare at movies all day, whatever. But then Emily poked and prodded enough to make me realize that she was into me, and I haven't thought of anyone else since.
My favorite thing about the neighborhood is I think how close everything is. Being able to like have a neighborhood pub that you can like walk to, or like I can just wander through pages is probably my favorite part. And I love bringing people down to Kensington. I just brought one of my friends that I work with at my school down a couple weeks ago, and she was like, this place is magic. I was like, I know. We can just like wander through, and I love that. It feels like a small town within a city, and I really like that.
Yeah, it's got cute little like Christmas town vibes. I think it looks the best around Christmas. Like once it's snowed, ignore the slush on the roads, but like the snow
And the twinkle
makes it look,
lights.
yeah, it makes it look so cute. And I just like the whole like Kensington strip there. It just feels like a little Christmas town.
It's cozy.
It's cozy, yeah. you can meet a lot of people who are also going specifically to get out and meet other people in the community. There's like trivia nights at pubs, there's sports games.
Fine Styles we love. They do a wine tasting from 2 to 5 every Saturday. It's a little advertisement. I've never left empty-handed. Everyone who owns like a small business here, which is most of the businesses, is so lovely and so willing to talk to you and so excited that you're excited about their store or that you're there. Like I always feel like when I go into like Trend or Kensington Consignment, like I always end up talking to someone. There's lots of events, like Springboard has their whole thing in the park. That's a really fun thing to go to.
The Plaza does a million events.
So many events. Yeah. Go to the Christmas movies. They're playing Love Actually. You can go see it this December. They do it every year. We did Rocky Horror this year, which was really fun. But it's a really like lovely and like welcoming community, I find. So if you just kind of can bring yourself, even with a buddy, to like get out there, people are pretty open.
A perfect date, I think, in Kensington would be like going through the shops, just window shopping and getting stuff. Then going for some cocktails at any of the local like bars, pubs. I like Free House. Check out Pages. Just going into a like local bookstore is always so nice, as opposed to say like a big chain one. And then a movie. I'm a dinner and a movie guy, so going to a movie after all that and just to round the night off, I think, is the end of a perfect date in Kensington.
Like my perfect date would be we've discovered that we probably shouldn't do multiple locations. But I like to hop. So like when we do days where we like, we'll go in and we'll get dinner at like Hayden Block and we get the mac and cheese, which is incredible. And then we'll like hop over and we'll do like a drink at Sidebar on like the side of the plaza. And then we always end at Side Street.
Yeah.
But we usually like we'll end at Side Street, but then we get to like stumble down the block home. And that's like a really lovely night as well, I would say. We've done that on many an occasion.
We have, yeah. A lot of couples are like, yeah, we're couples, but we have like different best friends and we do have like best friends, but I'd like to think that we've grown to become each other's like number one person, not just loving them, but also liking them. Like we love to do things with each other outside of the fact that we're engaged. We like to do them as friends. And I think that's really important in growth within a relationship, going from just dating to becoming like best friends.
Yeah, we often say like I love you and I like you.
Yeah.
Which is really important. We were 19 and 20 when we met. 20 and 21. I don't remember.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Time is an illusion. I think because we met so young, it's been nice because we've really grown up together. Mm-hmm. Like there's so much growing that happens. I mean, your prefrontal cortex hardens. Not hardens, but starts to work again, sort of in that process. And so we've grown up together. We've become like real adults together as opposed to like fake university adults. I was very adamant that Ethan was not my best friend for the first couple years we were dating, which he did not appreciate. I was very adamant about it. And then, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, no, you are my best friend. Yeah. Like you are. So that was definitely a big thing. And I think going from like that kiddie, excited romance to, I think there's something very romantic about like working through like job changes and me going back to school and you were acting and then all of a sudden there was no acting and like being able to sort of stand by each other through all of that with like just a very firm united front. Yeah. I think has been, so I think I surprised myself when we kind of went through all of that nonsense. Okay, I'm really excited to have a baby, which I know is a very long way away, but I'm very excited. E is such like a loving, caring person, but he's got this sort of like surly exterior, but he is like the loveliest, most gentle person We'd been dating for about 6 months, and we went out to see some of my family in BC. And I got to watch him with like little kids. Like my cousins had like babies at that point in time. And that was like, if I didn't know before then, I knew in that moment. Because he was just like so lovely and so caring and so gentle. And I realized that you talk to me when I am upset the way you talk to small children, which is like very gentle and caring and lovely. And so I am very excited to sort of like, when we get there, to do that stage of our lives together, just because I think I can't wait to see you in that like avenue.
I'm just here for the ride. I'm honestly like, I know that sounds like a cop-out answer, but I'm just excited to do anything and everything with Emily. Like, I just like to spend time with her. So if we have kids, if we go on trips, if we stay in our basement suite and just hang out, I'm more than happy to just be with her. How did I know she was the one? I think it was almost immediate. It was, I think, as we both showed up like an hour early to our first date, I was like, she's just as weirdly obsessed with me as I am with her, and not wanting to like seem like some sort of like uncaring loser. So I was like, I think this is it. I was immediately obsessed right after. So yeah, I think it was first date. Like, I just knew that because she was willing to put in as much care into it as I was. So yeah.
I knew Ethan was the one, I think, before our first date. I think it was when I couldn't bully you out of your wrong opinion about Batman versus Superman, and I could not make you see reason, and I was like, oh no, this is going to be a problem for me. It is a terrible movie from start to finish. It was poorly made, it is poorly shot, it is poorly acted, considering who is in it. And the fact that the entire movie cruxes on our moms have the same name is infuriating.
Ben Affleck is one of the best Batmen to have ever Batmaned. And Henry Cavill is one of the best Supermen to have ever Superman.
And somehow it was still a terrible movie.
No, I disagree. The parts with them separately are fantastic.
Okay, but that's
But the Batman versus Superman part, not great. So, to be fair, I wasn't saying it's a good movie. I'm just saying it's a lot better than people who just decide to hate it.
No, it's just bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad. Because I remember I was like walking across campus with my friend, and I was like going on about it. And I was like, wait, do I like this guy? And yes, I did. And then, yeah, I think it was cemented when we were both an hour early. It was just such a, I was like, oh, he gets me. He is my people. I feel like in a lot of ways we already feel married. I'm just very excited. I think it's a nice way to like affirm that commitment to each other.
Yeah.
I've been test running husband for a while, so I'm really excited for that to be true and not having people look at me like, are you married already? No, but
Yeah, saying
yes.
husband and wife sounds way cooler. I like it.
It's like it's better
Than
than
like my girlfriend.
Can my boyfriend come?
The tax benefits, of course.
A 4-letter last name.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. After writing 10 letters my whole life, I'm really excited for it to be 4. I'm very excited for like the idea of forever with you.
But honestly, yeah, just reaffirming that, you know, we're in it to win it together.
So nice to meet you. So nice to meet you. Are someone I'm absolutely sure about. You are someone I think I like lucky stars I don't have to live without. Thank you, time. Thank you, space. I know I'm in the right place, and it feels too good to be true. It's so nice to meet you. So nice to meet. So nice to meet